Not too long ago, I released this video to see how 7 different snare wires would affect the sound of a Ludwig Black Beauty. And one of the reoccurring comments from viewers was talking about how maybe it wasn't affecting the sound too much because it was such a deep shell. Those people also recommended that maybe I try it with a shallower drum, which might cause a more drastic effect. So in this Snare Saturday video, it's time to see if snare wires affect the sound of a copper snare drum. For those of you who are new to the channel, hi, welcome. My name is Costa, and in this video, I'm going to try every snare wire that Canopus Drums has to offer on a Ludwig Copperphonic 5x14 snare drum. There's a notion that when drummers get snare drums, they immediately swap out the snare wires for something different. And the real question is, does it really make that much of a difference? So why not put that theory to test by trying every snare wire that Canopus has to offer right here and see if that really makes a difference. All right, everybody, issue number 4 of the Percussive Art Society's Drum Set magazine is out now, and it features Antonio Sanchez on the cover, as well as Brendan Buckley, who is back with Shakira, and Chapel Roan's drummer, Lucy Ritter. And from the PAS archives is an article on Gene Krupa, who's one of the founding fathers of the modern day drum set. That wasn't exciting enough. If you haven't noticed, Percussive Art Society has changed their membership structure. Head over to pas.org/join, where you will see you can now subscribe to Drum Set magazine as part of your membership. And if you're not a member of Percussive Art Society, don't sweat it. You can pick up the magazine at the following drum shops. The snare wires that will be featured in this video come in 2 different series, the Vintage series and the Backbeat series. Now, for those interested in the detailed specs of each snare wire series, the Vintage series are wires that are based off of the snare wires from Slingerland and Ludwig from the 1960s. That means that the snare wire has a core thickness of 0.5 millimeters, a spiral diameter of 1.5 millimeters, and a pitch of 3.4 millimeters. Finally, the snare wires have an end plate that is 0.5 millimeters thick. As a matter of fact, that's really thin. And to make sure that your snare cord or your strap doesn't get ripped, there are lapels around all of the entry points. Now, in the Vintage line, there are 2 different types, dry and chrome plated. There are 2 dry variations, a 20 strand and a 16 strand. And these are the wires that you would want to use if you want to have a dry, crisp snare wire response. Now, the other option, which is chrome plated, only comes available in a 20 strand configuration, at least at the time of making this video. And the chrome plating reduces some of those unwanted high-pitched overtones while providing a rich and mild sound. Now, the other series is the Backbeat series. And the Backbeat series has another spiraled wire. This time the end plates are 1 millimeter thick. This provides an equal balance between volume and snare wire response. These wires are powerful enough for heavy backbeats and swift enough for intricate playing. The Backbeats were designed for those who like to have a loud snare drum but still have some sensitivity. And there are 4 different options for the Backbeat wires. You have the dry variation, which is a 20 strand, ideal for wood snare drums. And a nickel-plated 20-strand version, which is more ideal for metal snare drums. Now, if you are somebody who prefers to have a larger snare wire on your snare drum, there is also a Backbeat in a 30-strand variation, as well as a 42-strand variation. Both the 30 and 42-strand Backbeat variations are nickel-plated. Just like the last video trying to see if snare wires affected the sound of a snare drum, I'm going to play this 5x14 Ludwig Copperphonic and transition from one snare wire to the next. Now, to level out the playing field as much as possible, every snare wire is going to be equipped with the Canopus snare wire belt. This is to make sure that any additional buzzing caused by the snares is from the wires themselves. So, enough of me talking, let's dive in. Now that you've had the chance to hear 8 different snare wires on the Ludwig Copperphonic, I have to ask, did the snare wires change the sound of the drum? Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below, and which snare wire you preferred the most. If this video helped you find a set of snare wires that you want to now add to your snare drum, I put affiliate links to every model that is featured in this video in the description below. There's also a link for the Canopus snare wire belt in case you want to swap out whatever is currently used on your snare drum. If you have any other additional questions on any of the snare wires featured in this video, how I tuned the snare drum, or even the gear that I am playing, feel free to leave all of that in the comment section as well, and I will try my best to answer it. If you enjoyed this video and you want to check out the other Snare Saturday videos, I've put a link to the playlist in the description below. I'll also have it come up right here to make it a bit easier for you. If you want to see how versatile this drum is through a few different tunings, I've put a link to the older Snare Saturday video featuring this drum in the description below. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. That not only helps other people find the video, it is a free and easy way to support the channel. And that is it. Thank you so much for checking out this video to see if snare wires affect the sound of a copper snare drum. And until next time, see you later.